All right, we got to talk a little guards, guys, because they are right back in the thick of things. We're going to do that after a quick word from 5 Hour Energy. Right now, it's time to fuel up and turn up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. And let's be honest, some days in the course or off it, you need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about the good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5, hourenergy.com. You can use promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. That offer only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code not good with other subscriptions. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-hour energy shots today. All right, guys, the Guardians. We thought they were out of the AL Central race, and you know what? They might not actually be. They have been playing some excellent baseball of late, while Detroit has been free-falling in their last 26 games. Cleveland's a league best 19-7. Detroit, on the other hand, in 23 games, is just 7-16. The lead in the AL Central got as big as 15.5 at one point, Jay. It's now down to 6 with 50-something games to go. Each team is a little different. Are the Guards still alive in the AL Central race? I'll just ask it as simply as that. Or is 6 games too big of a gap to close in this short of a time frame?
They closed 9.5 in a month. They've got 2 months of baseball, or almost. And they have 6 games left with the Detroit Tigers. So the answer, are they dead in the Central race? No. I still think... And I'm hedging my bets more and more as we go on. I still think Detroit's going to hang on and win the division. I don't think they're nearly as bad as they've played the last month. The Guardians probably aren't as good as they've played the last month, particularly when you look at who they've played. They have beaten up on the teams they need to beat up on. They already have the difficult portion of their schedule behind them, and they didn't do well against those teams. They've got 2 series that are very winnable coming up. The Braves is a very winnable series. I mean, all of these teams are sub 500. So, I'm Jay. The longer this damn thing goes, the more I'm looking at this saying they can do this.
Yeah, they got time. I said it earlier in the show. Get it to 3 at September, and you may look at that and say, well, 3, you could have the lead by then. Well, Detroit probably is going to turn it around. It's such a long season. We've seen the Guardians play horrendous. We've seen the Guardians play great. We've seen Detroit play horrendous. We've seen Detroit play great. Realistically, if you can cut 2 or 3 games off of, or probably 3 to 4 games more off of this over the next 3 weeks or so, make this a 2-game race going to September, now we got a pennant race.
Those 6 games remaining against Detroit are the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, so that's huge. So if you can just get it to 2, get it to 2. Going to September, you have 3 weeks to make up 2 games. That's plenty of time. And now you've got a race in September where it's appointment viewing to watch baseball every single night in September, and that's when things really get fun.
We talked. Who was on last week from the Guardians? The television broadcast.
Oh, Al.
Yeah, I asked him this question. I said, listen. You know, when you could go one or two ways. When the whole gambling thing came out, I think the Guardians, the tone they had, they were embarrassed. And usually the Guardians are above any sort of reproach when it comes to you say what you want about their evaluations, but generally speaking, the Guardians don't get in trouble. Guardians don't be having a bunch of stuff go wrong. I think they were embarrassed. And I asked him, do you believe that this could be something that galvanizes the club? There's 2 ways you can go. You could fall apart, start pointing fingers, and fall off and go home early for vacation. Or you have some people in that locker room that say, listen, that's not representative of who we are, and we need to go out here and show what we can do. Once they traded Bieber, once they made that move, I think it put them in a position, in a mindset saying, guys, listen, we don't got nothing to lose out here. They've obviously sold at the deadline, and obviously we missing some of our best pitchers And right now we can fold up the Christmas tree and go home early. But what we're going to do is we're going to show that we got something. We're going to show that we can come back and do it. And the crazy part about it is in baseball, they brainwash themselves in different ways. Y'all, that's a different group. All you need is about 3 or 4 dudes in a clubhouse that ain't about to have that. And that momentum it switches different. And I think right now the Guardians is at that point where Detroit was. Detroit sold last year, and they had a little bit of adversity, and that brought them closer together, and it brought more fire to the table. So I think they're at a position right now where I think they're just trying to prove a bunch of people wrong, man.
Yeah, that's powerful, too. When you mentioned about the embarrassment, I think you're right. I think the entire organization was embarrassed. A lot of the other players were getting questioned on some of the social media memes.
Yeah.
I saw after the Class A news broke, the next day they had a game that was in a rain delay, and someone sent me a meme from the movie The Hangover.
Right.
When they're all at the craps table
Yeah.
and they're rolling dice and they're all on benders, and it said live look inside the Guardians clubhouse right now during the rain delay. That's unfortunate. And you're right. It does only take 2 or 3 guys in that clubhouse to get pissed off and to say, all right, enough.
Yeah.
Enough. Let's stand up and show everybody who we are. And they've done it, man. And, I mentioned that it's been an easy part of their schedule. But they get paid too. And the Mets was not an easy sweep.
No, that was.
They've done that twice in 35 years.
That
Take a
was very
3-game
impressive.
sweep in New York. And I know that the Mets haven't been playing great baseball, but that's a great team. When you look at their 1 through 4, I don't know there's another 1 through 4 in baseball that I would least rather face.
Yep.
That's insane.
And Gavin Williams almost no-no'd him.
I know it.
That's wild.
I know. It was incredible.
You
So,
weren't on the day after that. I just want to ask about your opinion from the pitching expertise.
I would not have thrown a fastball, and I would have politely worked around him. Gentleman's walk.
Yeah, gentleman.
And I would have tried to get Pete, who does hit a lot of ground balls, I would have tried to get him to end into a game-ending and no-hitter clinching
double play.
double play.
Is it a faux pas that, is it a bad thing to be like, you know what, I got a no-hitter. You're getting intentionally walked.
I wouldn't have intentionally walked him, but the nitro zone would have been dead for me. And I'm going to work the edges, and I know he struck him out earlier in the game, and he did it with a beautiful pitch. I'm going back to the stuff that I know has already worked for me today. What I'm not going to do against Juan Soto, who loves the big moment, I had a feeling too. I said, if he gets Soto, he's got the no-hitter. And I just had a sinking feeling. And when he challenged him with the fastball, and it was hit to deadway, straightaway center, I thought, there it goes. That's it. I would not have challenged him that way.
I have to think when you're in New York and you're in the 9th inning with a no-hitter, you feel bulletproof at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not backing down.
As a competitor,
I'm not backing down.
I'm going right at
But
him.
I'm not challenging the best hitter in the game, one of the best hitters in the game.
It reminded me of that series. I think
Reminded me of what he did for the Yankees last year.
When Hunter Gaddis was in the game in the playoffs, and Hunter Gaddis was just throwing gas, and he kept fouling them off.
Oh, before the home run?
Yeah, and then he finally hits the.
Yeah.
I said, bro, this dude is different.
Yeah.
He was staring him down too.
And he was staring him down with every foul ball. You got the sense.
Yeah.
He's seeing it.
He's
got it.
He's a great player. I can't stand him.
Yeah, there was a lot of anger. I don't
can't
like him
stand
either,
him.
but there was a lot of. I heard a lot of Cleveland fans saying he Cadillac'd it. Look, you just broke up a no-hitter.
Yeah.
He didn't completely Cadillac and showboat. He hit it. He admired it for a minute. He had a little bit of a chuckle as he came out of the box. Look, the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah. Yep.
You broke up a no-hitter. You're still going to take the L.
Yeah, you got.
But it was what it was. Now, I know what you're saying, Jay. You never want to pitch scared, especially when you're pitching so well.
Yeah.
But it was the number of pitches. It was the guy that was at the plate.
I don't care.
And if I know you say, hey, my best against your best, let's
go.
When this is
Yep.
all said and done, who is going to have the better baseball legacy, Gavin Williams or Juan Soto?
Oh, it's going to be Soto.
Okay,
But it doesn't matter. For that moment,
I know in that moment, and he would have loved more than anything to strike him out with the fastball. I will tell you, and I think this runs through all of baseball, all levels. Whenever I've got a complete game going and I'm in the 9th inning, don't come out to me as my catcher and just say, just get a ground ball here, man. Just pitch to contact.
Leave me alone.
Oh, no. I'm striking this dude out, and it's not going to be a pretty pitch. It's going to be my fastball. I'm not getting cute, and I know what Gavin was going for, and if he gets him on that pitch he looks like the hero with the white hat. But
Is that the Gavin? Is that the Gavin that scouts were
that's
celebrating?
it.
Yes.
Is that the Gavin?
You've seen it for the last month. He's been a better pitcher.
the
a
light
different
finally went
pitcher
off, Jay.
over the last
he
month.
stopped trying to be so cute.
Yeah, and again,
and he's just going after guys.
in the rankings of their pitching prospects as they were coming up through, he was always supposed to be better than Bibee, and Espino was supposed to be better than him.
he was.
Espino was supposed to be better than Gavin, and obviously he's had a ton of injuries. He may never make it to the majors at this point. Who knows? But Gavin always had a higher pedigree than Tanner Bibee. All you need to know about Gavin Williams, I was talking to him in spring training last year about how you get to be a Boris client. And early in his career, I guess when he went to Vanderbilt, right? Was he a Vanderbilt guy?
I don't know if he was a Vandy guy.
I don't remember where he went to
Well, in
school.
that case, you should be
He
good.
went to East Carolina.
Yeah, East Carolina.
okay,
because,
wow.
I don't know how the hell I knew that, by the way.
Well, and during the game they said, I think, didn't Carl Willis also go to East Carolina?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they
I don't
did.
They have a really good baseball program.
I think he
they
did.
have
No,
a
they're
lot.
very good.
and some of the best uniforms in all the game.
But the thing with Gavin was he wanted to be a Boris client, and they rejected him because he wasn't good enough.
Wow.
And then they came back after his final year
Tail
in East
between his
Carolina.
legs.
They came back and said, "Okay, now you can come into the
Wow.
come into the stable."
That's interesting.
So, in fact, I think it was after the draft. I think when the Guardians, I'd have to double check this. I think when the Guardians drafted him, he was not a Boris client. I think
wow.
he signed with Boris after they drafted him, but I'm not 100%
How
on that. I'd have
agents-
to double
how
check.
you know
agents
what?
got scouts.
Some teams won't draft Boris guys.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't want to deal with them.
Yep.
They just don't want to deal
But
with them.
I think that's a mistake. But you go into this knowing, okay, we have 6 years with them, and
Yeah.
then you're going to lose them, and probably 5, and then we're going to trade them.
Yep.
You know that going in. Gavin Williams is not going to end his career in Cleveland.
Dang,
Enjoy him while
Jason
he's here.
Lloyd. Damn.
That's just facts, though.
I know,
I
but
mean,
it
that's
hurts
what-
when you say it.
That's what you're dealing with when you deal with Scott Boris. You know that going in.
Yep. He's going to take him on the market. He's going to get the biggest offer. It's probably going to be more than what people think he's going to make. That's the other thing that Boris does for his guys. They always look at the deals and say, wait a minute, how in the world? I know what he always has the top clients, but he gets them paid.
And it just seems-
Cleveland doesn't pay.
And it just seems like, all right, it sucks because like you go through the growing pains, you get him up here, you go through the ups and downs, and then all of a sudden it looks like he's figuring it out, and then he has a great year, he's up for the Cy Young, best pitcher, and then all of a sudden,
Welcome to Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, that's how it goes. It's always been that way. With the exception of Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
You know, all of the stars that we had through the 90s, none of them ended their careers here because they all went off to greener pastures and made more money. The idea, though, is to get the best years out of them. You know, hope that, you have them during their best years, their early years.
And then you trade him for 6 more guys that are
and wash, rinse, repeat.
4 years younger.
And the cycle keeps
and
going.
hope out of those 6 you hit on 2 or 3.
That's exactly the formula.
Yep.